Hello, everyone. It's good to see you all again. I wanted to make a sort of quick little video about talking in past tense, so you can see how I might speak in past tense. And I'll try and just keep it short, but also you can learn a little bit about my childhood. Okay, so I'll put the link in the description for this website. They have many topics which can be useful for practicing common conversation topics. And yeah, so probably I'll keep the video around 10 minutes. So maybe we'll get 5 questions or maybe a few more. All right. So starting with, where did you grow up? Uh, I grew up near Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Actually, I have a little place here. So here's Toronto here. So kind of near the American border. And I grew up about 40 minutes to an hour, depending on the traffic, from Toronto. It was a suburban area. At that time, the population was probably, I don't know, maybe 30,000, 40,000 people. So there were no skyscrapers. But it was a safe place and I guess a cheaper place to live. These days, probably a lot of that has changed. Okay. So, did you enjoy your childhood? Yeah. Uh, Overall, I have a positive memory of my childhood. Um, so, I loved going to school. I loved, I had many friends at school. I loved playing sports during those days. I had a lot of opportunities. I was able to travel in my teenage years. Even as a child, I was able to travel. Uh, we played in nature. We played a lot outside. We played lots of video games, so both technology and the outdoors and nature. I was able to experience. And yeah, I learned a lot from the people around me. And kind of where I lived, we had a little bit of a multicultural environment. So some of my classmates were, Indian Canadian or Chinese Canadian, or like African Canadian. Um, so I was able to experience right away different points of views or different cultures, and those kinds of things. Okay, number two. Um, it's hard to speak in past tense, but which is better between being a child and being an adult? So I would say I, at every age I have been, I have thought that's the best age to be. But that's how I currently feel. So when I was 10 years old, maybe I thought that was the best age to be. When I was 20, 20 was the best. When I was 30, 30 was the best. And now I'm almost 40, and currently I think 39 and 40 is the best. Um, there's different positives and negatives to each age, and I think I can accept all of them. But you do get more experienced as you age, and you can have a bigger perspective as you're older, right? So, what's your happiest memory from childhood? My happiest memory from childhood, um, it's hard to say, but maybe there are a lot. I think I had a best friend from kindergarten. I met him in kindergarten, and we grew up together. And often we would exchange having sleepovers on the weekends. So maybe one weekend he would come to my house and sleep over, typically on a Friday night or Saturday night. And maybe some days I would have gone to his house. And so we played a lot, again, both outdoors and in indoors video games and fooling around outside. And I have really good memories with that friend. Um, Number four, as a child, did your family mainly stay in one place or did you move around a lot? Um, So in Newmarket, I say I grew up here because I spent the longest time here. It was around 8 years, I think we spent there, maybe 6 years. In my younger ages, we did move a little bit, and my parents divorced when I was young. So this meant, as they were divorcing, we were kind of moving around. And then when I hit high school, I actually attended 5 different high schools in 5 different years. So you can say that I moved around a lot. So this means I was not able to really keep a lot of friends. So these days I might have these friends on Facebook, but I don't really stay in contact with them regularly. Did you have other children to play with? Yeah, in general, there was always other children to play with wherever I was, and it was easy for me to find people to play with. When I lived in Newmarket, there were a lot of neighborhood kids, and we would often play big outdoor games like big game of tag or big game of hide and seek with maybe 5-10 people from the neighborhood, and I remember it was very fun. So mostly I just played with those neighborhood kids, and then again, as I mentioned, my best friend growing up on the weekends, I would play with him, whether it was at my house or at his house. How we're doing for time? Still good. A couple more. Children have powerful imaginations. Can you recall any imaginary games or friends from childhood? I cannot remember any imaginary friends from childhood, but I can remember playing some imaginary games for sure, a lot of them. Maybe just pretending something was happening, whether we're making a movie of that or just pretending something's going on, or having some toys and pretending that they're fighting each other, those kinds of things. For friends, the only kind of friends I can imagine or can remember imagining was like stuffed animals, and they would have names, and maybe I would just play with them in the way that I would imagine some scenarios to play with them in. But I don't remember having any imaginary friends. Number 7. Children can be scared of many things, real or imagined. Were you frightened by anything as a child? I can't remember, to be honest. Maybe I was just afraid of getting in trouble. I don't remember any specific fears that I had. Yeah. Did you have any favorite toy or toy series? I collected a lot of things. So there's a movie series called Star Wars in English, and I collected a lot of figurines and pop cans or starter caps, like the caps from the old glass bottles, plastic bottles, anything to do with Star Wars I would collect. I also like collecting like rocks and money and coins, but maybe my favorite toy would have just been video games, right? So we had the Nintendo 64. I think that's maybe the 3rd or 4th Nintendo they came out with in the late 90s, or I think late 90s. So I still have that, which is the next question. And we played that a lot with friends. And yeah. Maybe number 11. Did you enjoy reading as a child? What kind of books did you read? Yeah, I had spouts where, especially in my teenage years, I would just read for hours on end. Usually, I would read Star Wars books, so these science fiction books. All right, so we'll stop there. So maybe 10 or 11 we made it to. I don't know if I'll make another video, but hopefully that was helpful. I tried to keep the answers pretty short and simple, so they're easy to follow along. Let me know in class or in the comments if this was helpful or if you have any questions, okay? So take care and have a good night or a good day whenever you see this.